There are two good reasons to keep your mouthpiece clean. I hope to prove both of these. The first is that you will sound better on a clean mouthpiece. The second is that you will expose yourself to a lot less disgusting things if you keep your mouthpiece clean and sanitized. And I hope to prove that as well. I can't do that on a video, but if you go to my website, that one, and look for the recent article on cleaning your mouthpiece, and you will see the disgusting results. Maybe I'll put a plate up here just so you get an idea what we're talking about. Hey trumpet players, I'm going to do this in one take so that you don't think I'm lying through the power of video editing. So why did that sound so terrible the second time? It sounded so terrible the second time because this mouthpiece is filthy. To be honest, I made it that way for this demonstration, but I discovered this issue quite recently. I was playing on this fancy mouthpiece and found that I just could not hammer out that low G. I was playing a series of concerts. I was struggling with that note, just wasn't happening. Eventually, I gave my mouthpiece a little cleaning, stuck it back in, everything was great. So how clean is clean? Well, probably tough to see there, but I'll give you a shot in a second. This one I made filthy. I'll be honest, I poured a little coffee down there, maybe shook a bit of flour and some salt and pepper. I don't know what's on there. It's disgusting. The point of making it disgusting was not to put a bunch of germs in it. It was just to foul up the surface of the inside of the mouthpiece, of the back bore. I did that on purpose so that we could hear the difference. So here it is again. Couple of notes. No pedal tones at all. Let's have a closer look at what I'm talking about. Inside this mouthpiece, it looks the way a mouthpiece should look on the inside. That is, it's slick and clean. You might see some condensation particles in there, but it's a clean mouthpiece. You can see right through the hole. There's nothing in there looking weird. This is my old 1B, and it's kind of dull on the inside. I could probably shine that up, and maybe I will in a minute. But it's essentially clean. Maybe I should try the lick on that. It's almost the same. It's not my new mouthpiece, so whatever. But this filthy one, let's try something a little busier. That sounds awful. Doesn't even sound like a trumpet, it sounds like a kazoo. Yeah, that one sounds fine. So, we're going over to the sink to see what the difference really is. Okay, we're at the sink. These guys have been soaking for a couple of minutes. Ah, there's my old 1B. Okay, so this guy, I'm thinking probably is relatively clean. Just keep an eye on the sludge that comes out afterwards. Right by my hand here. There's a little bit of goo there, but it's not bad. Okay, I can't pull these out half the time, so I'll hook on with a pencil. This is from my collection of pencils that I don't use anymore because the eraser got useless. For a musician, an eraser is almost as important as a pencil. But we'll get into that another day. Okay, so this thing is a mouthpiece brush. You'll notice this particular mouthpiece brush has a little vinyl protector on the end that protects my mouthpiece from the wire that's in the middle of this business. I'm not sure what brand this particular mouthpiece brush is, but it's specifically a trumpet mouthpiece. So it's going to look like it would fit inside there. You can get away with bigger ones on a trombone, but you got to be really careful that the thing will go through that hole, because if it won't, you're going to scratch it up, and this is a really important spot. The throat there where the cup heads into the back bore is critical. Now if you look, I'll try and get this a little closer, you can see that mouthpiece is looking pretty clean on the inside. So I think I'm done with this one. This guy should look like that already because it's the one I'm playing on. Yeah, maybe it just needs a little but swish, but that one's nice and clean. It's clean now because it's been cleaned 100 times in the last week. This is the one that I put coffee and flour and miscellaneous kitchen items in just to make sure it would sound really crappy. Now I put less stuff in there than I've seen in some students' mouthpieces. I put more crud in there than I would ever allow to build up in a mouthpiece. Let's attempt to get that crud out of there now. This brush is too big. This is for cleaning clarinet mouthpieces, maybe saxophone mouthpieces, where they've got a big opening and you're not at all worried about scratching, plus you need the wider bristle. I used to think it was an okay idea to put this in there and use this to clean the cup. I don't think so anymore. No, there's just too much threat of scratching things up with that. This one here, the Super Slick, that's a trombone brand. This mouthpiece brush looks really good because it's got the little vinyl tip on it. That's probably Elkhart, Indiana. Wow, there's a lot of cool musical stuff that comes out of Elkhart, Indiana. Anyway, this probably costs $1 or $2 at a music shop. This is what you want. You can afford this. All right, let's get back to work on this, getting the crud out of this thing. I'll start just by giving it a brush and see what happens. Keep an eye on the little cloud plume of crud that comes out. I can't even get it through. All right, here we go. Ew, gross. Look, there's even floaties. Can you see the floaties? There's my stupid hairy arm in the way. Look at all this crud that came out of there. Now look, I know that I set this up to look bad, but I've seen worse coming out of mouthpieces at the school the kids have been playing on for months or years. So I'm going to give this, and again, the pencil comes in handy when you really want to work something. Let's have a look. Oh, already way better. Now look, if you get some buildup of stuff in there that you're just not sure what to do, you could try a little toothpaste. Let's see how that does. We'll just get some on there. I only use this in emergency circumstances, but I'd say this is an emergency. Oh yeah, whoops. Sorry, you can't see that. There you go. And just because I know what I did to this mouthpiece, I'm going to go one more step. Give it a little bit of Brasso. Now, I keep this stuff around, mostly for working on third valve slides, but that's a topic for another day. I'm going to put a little bit in there. Give it a massage. You can see it's starting to turn color. It's getting yucky. Let's put that in the water and see how it looks. Okay, now I'm going to declare that clean. I am, however, not going to declare it sanitary. None of these mouthpieces, even the one that I cleaned yesterday, I am not going to consider sanitary. Give them a nice swish. This is soapy water. The soap is a new thing for me, but that's because of COVID. I read somewhere on the internet, so it must be true. I read that the COVID virus is surrounded by a nice little protective layer of some kind of lipid or oil. Any regular soap, especially dish soap that's made for cutting oil and grease, will kill that COVID virus. It exposes it to elements it just can't handle. So, yeah, use a little soap. I'd rinse it. Then I'm going to use this product. This Sтерosol. I could probably use some alcohol like this, just rubbing alcohol, or I don't know, maybe hand sanitizer. I'm guessing this stuff would work. I don't even really know. Everybody seems to have that stuff now, but I'm going to use the Sтерosol because these people actually make this product specifically for wind instruments. Cleans, deodorizes, freshens, brasses, woodwinds, blah, blah, blah. Keep out of the reach of children, so there's probably some nasty stuff in there. Give it a rinse. Oops. I'll do this as well. These 3 mouthpieces are good to go, and what I really want to do is go in the other room and see what that really filthy one sounds like. So let's move back to the fabulous basement studio. Okay, here it is. Nicely cleaned. You can see that. Let's give it a try. Yep, I'm liking those low G's. That lick, by the way, is from the end of the first line of this trumpet solo, cornet solo, pardon me, in the Herbert L. Clark Characteristic Studies. That's what it looks like. Unless you get the shiny, this is like Calgary Flames colors here. So I should probably get back to work on that. It's called From the Shores of the Mighty Pacific. That's not my mouthpiece. So that was the video I started to make. I was really interested in how a clean mouthpiece played better than a dirty mouthpiece. And that was my primary concern. At some point, I got kind of interested in, is there a lot of germ bacteria activity on a fairly clean mouthpiece? My mouthpiece gets a thorough cleaning, I'd say a handful of times a year. It gets a quick rinse lots of the time. It's always kind of clean. Some guys just give it an old t-shirt clean, maybe rinse it out occasionally. I've been in that kind of keep it sort of clean camp for a long time. I have to tell you that has changed. I've been working in high school lately, so I went down the hall and I said to the science guy, an old friend of mine, hey, any chance you could take a swab off my mouthpiece? And this was after I had discovered the oops thing with the low G and it didn't sound so great. So I cleaned my mouthpiece, talked to the guy. He says, yeah, sure, maybe next week, week after when I got some time. We found a day. I played a little bit on my trumpet, took it down the hall. He swabbed the cup, swabbed inside the back bore. We did some other stuff. It was an eye-opener. Now, first of all, when you do this kind of thing, you culture a bacteria, what you're doing is you're finding a few bacteria and you're encouraging them to multiply. You're giving them a fighting chance. It's kind of like leaving a ham sandwich with mayonnaise out in the hot sun for a day or two. You're giving those bacteria a real chance to get going. So he did that, and we had a look. If you want to see the results, they're on my website, so go there. Go to trumpetheroes.com and find the article about the disgusting mouthpiece bacteria. It might change the way you think about mouthpiece cleaning. It certainly changed the way I think about mouthpiece cleaning. So, go there, have a look. If you only take one thing from this video, it is this. Clean and sanitize your mouthpiece regularly. And I don't mean like on the 1st of May every year. I mean once or twice a week. Do it a lot. The more bacteria you kill, the less of a chance they have to multiply. Now, what was the point here?